was early, so.
We got 30 seconds.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, time's 9 a.m., and we're here to have our regular board meeting of the commissioners. Let me get my agenda here. Present today are all commissioners as well as our auditor, treasurer, and county coordinator. At this time, if you'd like to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. At this time, I'd ask if there are any amendments to the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
I have one amendment to add 4.3, hire navigator interpreter Valerie Gonzalez Flores. Start date to be determined.
A consent item, right?
That's under consent, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm just going to make sure my phones are turned off here. Okay.
Yeah, so 4.3 we'd be adding.
Okay. Everybody get that? We're going to have another consent to the hiring of this
Navigator interpreter.
navigator. Thank you. Can I get approval for those amendments?
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you. Commissioner Noska, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Denny seconds. Any questions or discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we got agenda. We're ready to go. Item 4, consent items.
We have the meeting minute approval for April 7th, 2026, and resignation of Dylan Pratt, resource conservationist, May 1st, 2026.
And 4.3, right?
Oh, yes, 4.3,
Which was the navigator, right?
yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve those consent items?
I'll make a motion for approval.
Thank you. Commissioner Becker, is there a second?
Second.
And Commissioner Newman seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hear no discussion. Take a voice vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carried. Just want to say thank you, Dylan. He's been a great resource for us and wish him best of luck. Item 5 is our warrants for the treasurer.
The first item we have is the commissioner warrants. Background is sent for your review. Recommendation is to approve the commissioner warrants with an ACH and a manual payment totaling the amount of $130,617.28.
Commissioner warrants and that amount on the BAF today are to be voted on. And I would like to entertain a motion to do that.
I'll motion to approve the commissioner warrants.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Noska. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Denny seconded. Any discussion? No discussion being heard. We will take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Noska?
Yes.
Commissioner Denny?
Yes.
Commissioner Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Newman?
Yes.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
The next item I would have would be the Health and Human Service Commissioner warrants. Background again was sent for review. And the recommendation is to approve the Health and Human Service Commissioner warrants with an ACH and a manual payment totaling the amount of $108,848.78. A lot of eights there.
Okay, 5.2, Health and Human Service Commissioner warrants in the amount in the board action form. I entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Becker. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Noska got the second. Any discussion? I'm hearing no discussion. Let's take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Noska?
Yes.
Commissioner Denny?
Yes.
Commissioner Newman?
Yes.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
The last item I have then today is the Health and Human Service SSIS warrants. Background was sent. Recommendation is to approve the Health and Human Service SSIS warrants with an ACH and a manual payment totaling the amount of $112,274.72.
Okay, last item here, the 5.3, Health and Human Services SSIS warrants in the amount on the board action form in front of us. I do need to get a motion to move forward.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Newman. Is there a second?
A second.
Commissioner Becker seconded. Any discussion? Hear no discussion. Final roll call.
Commissioner Newman?
Yes.
Commissioner Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Denny?
Yes.
Commissioner Noska?
Yes.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. And item 6 today, planning and zoning. Mr. Ossiford, thanks for coming.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, big item today is amendment to Article 12 of our Planning and Zoning Ordinance, the regulation on cannabis businesses. The Planning Commission has developed a recommendation to adopt an amendment to Article 12 of the Planning and Zoning Ordinance. The amendment was reviewed during the February, March, and April Planning Commission meetings. During these meetings, the Planning Commission heard public comments on the proposed amendments and considered these comments in their recommendation. Options are to adopt the amendments to Article 12, do not adopt or remand it back to the Planning Commission. Recommendation is to adopt the recommendation of the Planning Commission and amend Article 12 of the Planning and Zoning Ordinance as presented. So I sent this, I think, last week, give you a little bit more time to review. If there's anything you want me to walk through, I'm glad to do that. But hopefully you all had a chance to look it over.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, if I could?
please, would you? That'd be great.
Asked different people to read it, and they had a couple questions. On page 1, D, it's enforcement. The director responsible for the administration and enforcement of this ordinance. Who is that?
That would be me.
Okay?
Yeah, and that's
Should
consistent
that
throughout.
be stated more clearly or not? Because it says, they question if it should be you or if it should be the sheriff. Of the violations.
I gotta find where you're looking. Oh, part D
It's
there.
the first page.
Yeah, so that is language that didn't change from the original. That was in
Right.
that model ordinance. That's consistent with everything else in the ordinance. So any sort of enforcement, we would send the notice or do the follow-up, send the notice, all that stuff. But ultimately, it would be turned over to working with the sheriff's office and then the county attorney's office to actually do the real enforcement of the
Okay.
ordinance.
Like
So
I
it's
said-
really just our office identifying the violations and then noticing the landowners of it, and then we work with others from
Okay,
there.
like I said, these are questions that other people, because I've been so
Yep.
involved in it, I know the answer, but these are questions they had
Yeah,
if they were clear
sure.
or not, okay?
Understood.
On the next page, it's under I-2. It says the full name of property owner and applicant. Does a property owner and applicant have to be the same person?
They sometimes will be the same, other times they won't. You'll sometimes have an applicant maybe be somebody's attorney is applying on behalf of the property owner, but we require signatures of everybody. So if we're working with somebody's representative, we want to know that in that application. So there may be, in most scenarios, it's the property owner is also serving as the applicant, but that's not always the case. They may have somebody assigned to represent them.
And we're going to allow that they
question.
don't have to own the land. These are just questions.
Sure.
Okay, if there's a bank loan, does the bank have to sign off on it?
Not on something like this. No, we don't have any involvement with the bank. That would be between the landowner. You know, if they went out for a
Does-
loan for a
Is the
structure.
landowner the bank or is the landowner the person?
You know, that's outside of the realm of planning and zoning, in my opinion. But we don't ever really do anything checking with banks except when there's splits of, or we bring a new plat forward. If there's still a mortgage on the property, then you need consent from the bank to split that. But outside of that, we never look at any sort of loans or banking information
Okay,
with
these are
anything in P
questions.
and Z.
What was the question? Does
The question is the full name of property owner and
Yeah.
applicant.
I got that.
Well, if they have a loan against at the bank, does the bank have to co-sign?
Just like anything, I don't think, Barb, like, just like anything you do, you get to make the decisions on your property, whether the bank owns it or not.
This is a little bit different. We're talking cannabis.
I
so.
understand we're talking cannabis, but it's like
And
anything.
These
I
are
mean,
questions people had, so
Yep.
I'm going to bring
Chair,
it
if I may,
forward.
Chair, if I may. In our office,
Yeah,
when
go
it
ahead.
comes to paying taxes, we call that a third-party entity, and we don't get involved in it, especially if there's like a contract for deed. If they call in regards to paying taxes, and they might mention my escrow company or my bank, we simply tell them, we're third-party, you need to work between the buyer and seller and the bank or the mortgage company. So I would kind of think that follows in the same realm as this, is that, I mean, I'm just speaking on
I
our
would
behalf
agree
in
with
our
that.
office.
We're strictly making
Okay.
land use decisions. You know, we're not making sure their finances are in order for what they're applying for.
Okay, and the other question, can they put it on leased land? You know, does the owner, I mean, if they live in the cities and come up and lease land, Is that acceptable?
So from a, again, planning and zoning perspective, it would be acceptable, but we would require signatures of that landowner on the application.
Okay,
If they have some sort of lease agreement to rent a chunk to do this on, that's between the landowner and the leasee. But from our perspective, we would require signature of that landowner before we accept the application.
okay.
A good question.
I mean, these
Glad
are
you brought 'em
questions
up.
that they brought up, and
good.
I thought, let's go through them before we
Yep.
go ahead with this. Okay,
Made me think, I know that.
okay, on the next page, under suspension, if suspension happens, what happens to the product?
Oh, boy, that's a question for OCM.
I mean, does the sheriff take over ownership of the product at the time of suspension? What happens to it?
I do not have an answer to that, but I'm happy to seek an answer and I can let you know.
I mean, this is how we got in trouble the first time, with this. I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't ask enough questions.
Yeah, that is one I'm not gonna have an answer to.
And I
But
don't want to
OCM would.
delay not passing this, but I just want to have that
Yep.
conversation.
Yep. Let me mark,
saying
I'll find an answer to that. OCM should be able to answer that question.
Okay, and we could insert that if we pass
Yeah,
this
we-
today,
we
because
can
I would
make-
like to carry this forward today. I
Yeah.
think it's important that we do, but I
have-
think it's important that we,
Yeah, sure. I can find an answer to that and then we can see where we need to go from there.
okay,
The big burn or what?
yeah.
Seriously,
Okay,
like seriously, you think it's a big burn?
well,
Sheriff goes out and brings out the torch?
yeah, I mean, what happens to it? I mean, do we just lock it up, confiscate it? Do we?
Whole county's a little high for a while or something?
Okay, section 12.03.
Sorry, go ahead.
Smoke on the water.
I've seen that before where they do burn fields.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. We've got 1,000 feet from a school, but only 500 feet from a daycare. Should that not be 1,000 feet from a daycare? I think we discussed this at a planning and zoning meeting, and I thought we agreed to it, that they were going to put them at 1,000 feet, and that's why I was
We
kind of curious.
increased the residence setback from 500 to 1,000. So that was previously 500. That daycare standard is what's in the rule and was in that model ordinance. The guidance we received early in this process is that we should be very careful about being too restrictive on the things that are already in that ordinance. That doesn't mean you can't increase that. We could increase that today. But that is the guidance we've received from, when was that? Training in St. Cloud was a while back, but their direction, just because there's a lot of legal stuff happening out there with cannabis, that they cautioned us from being too restrictive or going beyond what the rule says. So it wouldn't be consistent with what the state rule says. The state rule doesn't have any setback for residences though, so that's why we put that in there and then went from 500 to 1,000 from what we previously had.
Right, and the two, I was really, because the daycare, you're talking children, school, you're talking children, a park or playground, you're talking children.
Yeah.
Is, any daycare this has to be a licensed daycare, not a center, could be a home daycare too?
I would say all daycares, in-home daycare, daycare
Doesn't-
center.
Make it differential, it just says the daycare. So I don't know if you guys are okay with leaving it as is, or if we should be changing it. To me, if you're working with children, it should have been
Do we
1,000.
have many?
If it's an in-home daycare, I think that could fall.
That's a residence
That could
still.
fall under the residence.
We don't have many
If you're
facilities, do we? Like just facility standalones in Todd County?
Big daycare
Yeah,
I mean, one thing is it's probably a lot easier to go,
got one
start
bird
high
flu.
and go down versus going up, to be honest with you, but
it will be.
that doesn't
yeah.
mean my thinking's correct. But go
I
ahead.
think those are really good considerations. In-home daycares can come and go. And like Commissioner Denny said, they are residential, and Commissioner Noska. Centers, we have one center right now, and that's in the city of Bertha. School district.
Is it right next to a home though, probably?
Right next to
Well,
a
there is a
school.
home across, there's a few across
So
the
I mean, you're talking,
street,
it's
but
gonna overlap, most of the places we have it, they'll overlap anyway, but still, it's nice to cover it.
those are more permanent,
Yeah. That's protected on all sides right now with the school's property too, and
But this would also go into the future ones,
yeah.
and that's what,
good
I
consideration.
mean, at the end of the day, if we're more restrictive and somebody comes up and goes, you're too restrictive, take it back. We take it back, right?
Yeah, we could amend it in either
I mean,
direction.
It's not like we're building, the pyramid here. It can be done.
Yeah, yep, there's just a process that you follow to do it.
I mean, I don't want to create more work, but to me, it seems like be restrictive, and if you gotta go back, go back.
And the other one is a residential facility treatment. Those are the three that are 500. 1,000 is a school and 1,000 is a legal established residence. Okay. And next one is on the next page is C, performance standard. Cannabis businesses are limited to retail sales of cannabis, cannabis flowers, and cannabis products between the hours of 10 and 9. And they thought that 9 o'clock should be more of a business hour times.
That is as restrictive as we can be.
That's as strict as we can be?
Yep.
Okay,
All right, clear.
okay,
Good job.
yep. And let's see, what's the next one? That's it.
Okay.
Awesome, good job.
Yep, and then, so
good job.
most all of the changes were from that previous page. Well, anything prior to section 1203, there was no changes, so it was 1203. And then, there's no changes to 1204, and then 1205 was added back in because originally we had made the decision to not regulate the lower potency hemp edibles at all, like the edible type stuff. But at our P&Z conference last fall, we were informed you have to have it in your ordinance, so we added that back in there, very simply as it's written there.
So what are we doing on, what are we doing on the setbacks? Are we clear on what we're doing? 1,000?
You tell me, that's super easy edits to make, so just when you make your motion, it'd be to adopt it with the changes of all setbacks being 1,000 feet.
What do you guys?
I'm good with
fine
that.
with that, yeah.
I'm absolutely
Okay.
fine with that.
Are you?
So,
Absolutely, I just set it back to 1,000 feet on all of them.
yeah, so it'd be 1,000
Yeah.
feet from a school, 1,000 feet from a daycare, 1,000 feet from a resident treatment facility, 1,000 feet from a public park, and 1,000 from a legally established residence. And just, we did add that second part underneath there, part 2, where we're measuring the setbacks from the cannabis business to the property line of a property that contains any of those particular items up there. And then further, we added that piece about a perimeter fence, because if they have fencing for their use, we're considering that part of the cannabis operation to measure from the fence, not the building.
Okay.
Oh, the other thing, just on page, let's see, second to the last page, and it's got, a copy of the business standards, waste disposable plan. I think there's 6 of them listed. That is due at the time that they apply for the application, correct?
Yep, just to make sure, you're looking at part 6 under there. Yeah, right there. If you scroll down just a hair
Yeah,
more,
there's-
those
there-
8 items there.
Right.
Yep, yeah,
No,
those.
that's not, that's,
Oh,
it would be part 8. No, it's the second to the last page.
oh, second to last page. I'm looking at the last page.
Yeah, it'd be 8. No. It's right. There's 6 of them listed. Let's see, how does it start?
You're in section 12 now, you gotta go up more.
C, you go back down to C. Is it from 10 to 9? And
Oh.
you said that can't be
Oh,
altered?
I see what you're talking. Yep, go up just a little bit. Oh, no, you're on it right there. The performance standards and conditional use criteria there.
Okay.
Those 6 things.
Yes.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
keep going down to a little bit farther, like to an 8. Next page, right there. One.
Yep, yeah, so if you look at that part 8 there, it says.
There's 6 of them listed. Do they have to be there at the time they apply for a
Yep.
license?
Yep, if you just at the very bottom of that page above it, sorry Denise for making you scroll
Yep.
over. Yeah, it says the application for conditional use permit shall include the following items. So
Okay.
if they are not submitted with that application, the application is not complete.
That's correct.
Yep.
Okay, just wanted to make sure on that.
That'll push a lot of people.
Yeah.
Any other further discussion? Or, yeah, we just started the discussion. Is there anyone else? Pardon?
No, I'm fine, and
Yeah,
we're going to change
thanks.
it.
Okay, at this point, then I would entertain a motion to approve with the changes of the setbacks. And Barb's explanations were, or your questions are answered?
Yes,
Okay,
I'd like to make that motion for approval of this.
very good. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Tim's gonna second it, and one more discussion?
No, I'd just like to thank all the people who worked with this.
Yeah,
A lot of people, a lot of time.
Adam, you will provide a corrected,
Yeah, I'll make those edits and I can send it out to everybody. And then the process from there is once I make it, I send it to the recorder's office, it gets officially recorded, and then we provide an official copy to the auditor treasurer's office as they're our formal document keeper for the county,
Shazam. Good job.
just like that.
All right, let's take a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Awesome.
You're up again.
Okay, next, the tower's request for CUP, an application for a CUP to construct a 64-foot monopole communications tower on parcel 0300186003 in Birchdale Township was submitted on March 4th. Application was reviewed by the Planning Commission during the April 2nd public hearing. Final recommendation from the Planning Commission was to grant the CUP with one condition, which is identified below. Options are to grant the CUP with the one condition, develop findings to deny the CUP, remand back to the Planning Commission for further consideration. The recommendation is to adopt the findings of the Planning Commission and grant the CUP with the following condition, that the applicant must abide by all their applicable federal, state, and local standards. There should be a site map in there. It's near Ford Springs, but otherwise it's just a standard communications tower.
I'll motion to approve this.
We'll take it. Is there a second for the tower cup?
Second.
Got Birchdale might get a tower cup. Okay, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll take a voice vote. Those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? There are none. Motion is carried.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Have a good day. Beautiful out there. Up next is agenda item number 7, and we'll talk about solid waste.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, the first item I have before you today is our professional service agreement with Bar Engineering. The background is Todd County has historically used Bar for professional services related to the annual groundwater quality data review. For 2025, Bar has provided the attached proposal to perform these services for $17,500. In 2024, the cost was slightly lower for a similar risk or a similar task. The work is required by state law. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency permits for the demolition landfill. The only mistake was it should be for 2026 is in the background. The options are to authorize the solid waste director to sign the proposal by Bar Engineering for $17,500 or to deny the waste director's signature. It is our recommendation to go ahead and authorize the solid waste director to sign the proposal with Bar Engineering for professional services for $17,500.
Okay. I think, Mike, you're saying that they just will change those dates or those years? Is that what you said?
That is correct for 2026.
So 2026 and then 24 between 25? Okay, I'll entertain any motion to approve the bar services.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, and do we have a second anywhere?
I'll second it.
We do have a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, let's take a voice vote. Those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carried with those date changes. Thank you.
Okay, the second
Number
item
2.
I have before you is a power broom purchase. The background is in support of our new transfer station facility department requests a purchase of a Bobcat power broom attachment. This equipment will provide the facility a safer and more effective means for cleaning in our tipping floor areas as well as assisting with snow removal efforts. State bid pricing through Farm Rate for this power broom attachment is $7,416. This item was discussed among our solid waste committee. The options are to go ahead and approve this purchase for a Bobcat power broom for the amount of $7,416 from Farm Rate, or do not approve the purchase. It is our recommendation to approve the purchase for this power broom attachment. This is a budgeted item as well.
Okay. Would anyone like to motion for the purchase of the power broom?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Newman. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Wonderful. We have a motion and a second, and I'd entertain discussion at this time.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have been using Public Works, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. We reached out to Lauren's crew and we wanted to try it to see how much we would actually need it once we opened up in December. But as you guys recall, the old facility with where our demolition landfill was, and now we have our new bunkers. We broom every Friday. It's part of our Friday house cleaning day. We do that every day, every week, and we also use it to sweep our tipping floor to keep it dry. So it was just one of those things that we weren't sure, but we used their broom for this last 5-6 months, and it's worked out really well, so.
I was up there yesterday. Clean as a whistle. Beautiful.
Nice.
Clean as a whistle. Any other discussion?
Thank you.
Okay, let's take a voice vote. All in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, and the last item I have before you is the purchase of 30-yard roll-off containers. Background is in support of our new transfer station facility. The department requests a purchase of 2 30-yard roll-off containers. These containers are replacing old inventory that is no longer viable. The department received 3 bids. Protainer quote was $9,400 each. Waste quote was $8,900 each. And a low bid was Metalworks of Little Falls at $7,600 each. This purchase was, again, discussed among our solid waste committee. Options are to go ahead and approve the purchase of the 2 30-yard roll-offs for Metalworks for the amount of $15,200, or do not approve the purchase. It is our recommendation to approve the purchase for 2 30-yard roll-offs with Metalworks for the amount of $15,200. And this is also a budget item.
Okay, I do want to ask a quick question before we get a motion. The 30-yard, those are the big boys, right? Those are
That is correct.
like the standards, like about 16 or something? Or
Yep, there's
some
we have
nines?
20 yards and we have 30 yards and we actually have 1 40-yard as well.
you do?
Yep.
Okay, so- And these are mostly for commercial or our own use?
Yeah, the idea with this is, now that we've actually had our operations, flowing steadily, the one part of concern is all our roll-offs are red, and we're enhancing our experience with our customers is when we have our white goods and our steel bins that are outside that are next to the demolition, a lot of them get confused of where they're supposed to place their product. Even though there's signage, when we tell them we're just going to color code these 2 bins so they know white goods are going to be orange and the gray bin is going to be steel. So we can just simply tell them, go to the gray bin. And it just, it's one of those things that's people like eye candy. It's a lot easier than reading a sign. So that's kind of our
practicing
thought
that.
process.
They told me that yesterday. Go past the red one or somewhere, and then it's right in between these 2. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I'd entertain a motion if we have one for the roll-off purchase.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second it.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? I'm hearing no discussion. Voice vote. All those in favor signify by aye.
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 And opposed, nay? Okay, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Agenda item 8 is the Health and Human Services. We have to approve the Mental Health Local Advisory Council bylaws.
Morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Morning.
We have one board action form here to present to you. Some background. The mission of Todd County Mental Health Advisory Council is to review, evaluate, and make recommendations regarding any element of the local mental health care system to the Regional 5+ or Region 5+ Mental Health Local Advisory Council, and annually report those recommendations to the Todd County Board of Commissioners and the State Advisory Council on Mental Health. The updated LAC bylaws have been reviewed at by the county attorney and approved by the Todd County LAC. The bylaws need to be reviewed annually and signed by the Todd County Board of Commissioners. These bylaws were brought to you at 2 work sessions ago. All right, your options?
Just an update.
An update. Options are to approve the Todd County Mental Health Advisory Council bylaws or to not approve. It's our recommendation. You approve the Todd County Mental Health Advisory Council bylaws.
Okay. So before us is the approval of the bylaws, and we would need a motion to move it forward.
I'll motion to approve the updated Todd County Mental Health Local Advisory Council bylaws.
Wonderful, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
The second is here, and discussion.
Just, Jackie, do you get a quorum at your meetings?
I think there is a minimum for a quorum.
Yes, yep,
You
there's
do.
a has to be
Okay,
met. Yep.
because we see more and more of our meetings that we're having a hard time getting quorums, so.
Yes, thank you.
That's
Yeah, we have
good.
a lot of providers
Really?
that attend, so
Yeah.
that's helpful.
Okay.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion, please? Okay, I'm hearing no other further discussion. Let's take a voice vote. Those in favor can signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, before you leave, I wanted to share with the commissioners real quick that our team has been, we got, who was it, the Financial Office of? Department of Finance?
Yes, so annually, we do need to submit reports for audits.
Yeah.
To the
And they
state,
were recognized
DHS.
highly by the state of Minnesota for their efforts. I got some notice yesterday, so we got some, they were actually called rock stars by these people, so.
Oh, awesome.
Blast some music, let's go.
Yeah,
Yes.
great team. Thank you
good
for their
job.
hard work.
Congrats.
Appreciate it.
Way to
Thank
go.
you.
Congratulations, yeah.
Caitlin's doing a great job.
Yeah, for sure.
All righty, thanks again. And agenda item 9 would be administration. You got this, Jackie? B?
Yes, good morning, Chair and Commissioners. So recently, Sourcewell had announced a new grant opportunity called the Sourcewell Community Benefit Grant, and its focus is really to either boost community vitality, economic growth, enhancing parks, trails, and recreational areas, public transportation, or improving library resources. And it's a grant opportunity for up to $30,000. It is a lottery grant, which means if we apply, there's not a guarantee that we would receive the grant, but it came up and I reached out to all of our department heads along with the board, and I did have 2 requests come in that would fit within the grant. First of all, the county attorney's office and Judge Hovis requested expansion of the law library for citizens, and Judge Hovis's law clerk put together a list of items that are needed in the law library, which totaled $14,192.61. And then also a request for our annual work that we do out at Battle Point Park on Lake Osakis for mowing, weed spraying, some landscaping mulch for the playground and staining, and also dock maintenance coming to $10,000. So that totals $24,192.61. The grant's deadline is April 22nd, which is tomorrow. I have started the process, but in order to complete the process, the board would need to adopt a resolution in support of applying for the grant. So today, the board action form states that the Sourcewell Community Benefit Grant application is nearing completion and will be ready to be submitted. This grant requires the County Board of Commissioners to pass a resolution to authorize the submission and authorize the Auditor Treasurer's Office to act as fiscal agent. Funds to be used for maintenance, repair, and enhancements for Battle Point Park and for additional materials for the Todd County Law Library. Your options would be to adopt the attached resolution or to not adopt the attached resolution, and the recommendation would be to adopt it.
Wonderful. We'll get a chance at the Sourcewell funding lottery. I'd love to entertain a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Denny. We have a second. Any discussion? All right, here no discussion. Let's take a voice vote. Those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for your
Yes,
work
we'll
on that,
move on to our standing reports now, beginning with the county auditor treasurer.
Yes, it's tax season, May 15th, and taxes are rolling in, which is great to see. We had the finalization of the special election. Staples-Motley passed. Little Falls School District did not pass. And Jolene and I will be away this week for an election conference, leaving today. So I just wanted everybody to be aware of that. We will be on limited email access, but we'll be there for anybody that needs us. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Jackie?
I participated in a number of employee interviews, attended the Personnel Committee, met with court administration, a meeting with the Business of Childcare, and I did go to the Todd Wadena Community Corrections meeting in Eagle Bend. However, as Commissioner Becker stated, we did not have a quorum, although Mike Schomer did give us updates.
Very good, thank you. Commissioners, Commissioner Noska, what's new?
For me, I apologize for missing that community corrections meeting. I was on vacation with the family, so I was probably the reason we didn't have a quorum. But but otherwise, business as usual for me. Nothing noticeable to point out.
Okay, and Commissioner Denny?
Yeah, I guess we just had a department head at a library meeting, Hands of Hope meeting, and yeah, nothing that stands out. If you need a raffle ticket for the Hands of Hope, we're drawing next week. So if you need a ticket, reach out to me yet or anybody else at the Hands of Hope office. So that's all I have for now.
Wonderful. Commissioner Becker?
Okay, attended policy meeting on the 18th, Rainbow Rider on the 19th, or on the 8th, and on the 9th was Rainbow Rider. The 9th was Economic Development Meeting in Briarville, which is really interesting. They have a person kind of looking over what they're doing and where they want to be going to. On the 13th, we had corrections in Eagle Bend, and at that meeting, I was trying to print this off for you guys, but we hired a consultant and to look at the possibility of Todd, Wadena, and Otter Tail corrections moving forward, either alone or together. His name is Jason Anderson, is the consultant we hired. And Otter Tail County actually approved going there at their meeting on Tuesday. So that consultant will be working. He should be done before the end of the year, so that would be in December. And he'll lay out, you know, the options we have going together, the options we have of staying with Todd Wadena Corrections. So that's where that is. Then on Thursday, I went to the West Central Juvenile Corrections meeting, and that was the one in Moorhead. And that's what I was sharing with Bob before the meeting, that we were up 2% on our beds. And actually, Jackie took the paper with her because we're going from 0 to, what was the high number?
51.
51 people, juveniles staying at the center at the time. They're still looking for adding on the building, but they're afraid there probably won't be any bonding from the state this year, but they're still wanting to do that. Our next meeting is in July 16th, and at that time will be our budget meeting, so we'll know where we're going to be sitting as far as what we're going to owe for them, you know, budget-wise.
Wow.
Very, very interesting meeting, so,
Good, thank you so much.
thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Newman?
Yes, sir. On the 7th, attended the annual township meeting after our board meeting that day. Let's see, on the 9th, solid waste and Rainbow Rider, give you an update on Rainbow Rider. We purchased a generator for the facility. I about crapped when I seen the price of a generator for the building. The building's moving along. Hopefully, we can get in that probably, what, Barb, end of July?
Yeah, they're talking about doing an open house
Yeah.
at the time.
Where's
So,
it? It's over on the east side of Alec, right?
yep. West
West
side.
side.
West side?
West
Yeah.
side, out by Massman Automation,
Yep.
and then Alec, ALCS. Yeah, thanks. So, yeah, so so the building's coming along and doing well. Also attended economic development meeting that night. Good meal put on by the board members. So I thought it was really interesting. And then last week I didn't have anything, which is really unusual, but good. So, and that's all I had.
Okay. Oh, I've been working with Kim and GIS regarding some boundaries and different things going on there. We had department head meeting, which was very good, I thought. And we also met with county attorney and Health and Human Services about the Fairview Trailer Court here in Long Prairie and the future of it. We'll see what happens. We have some cleanup and different, what's the word I'm looking for? Violations that need to be, violations, that'd be a good word. Violations need to be taken care of. So, also met with the monthly meeting with soil waste, what am I saying? SWCD, and also did the township meeting and TCDC. So busy couple weeks. That's all I have. I can ask for an adjournment, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Barb's got second. And all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Adjourn. Take 5 minutes and then we'll hit our work session. Mike's got some stuff to review for us.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Now there it goes again. When I try to go on there, this thing locks me out.
Oh, that's happened to me before, yeah.
And then what was it doing on your phone too?
Not on my phone, but Lisa Lisa took and did a whole update on everything.
Well, it just basically I can't use my email now, which is not good.
Right.
Wonder what I should just call down there, I
So
suppose.
you guys are leaving for,
Are you supposed to be paused or not?
I have it closed.
It was still.
I guess none was even mentioned.
What's that?
Do the township meeting before?
Oh, no, we didn't. I didn't mention it either. Also didn't mention law library. I missed that one. But, I mean, there wasn't really anything that, at the township meeting that stood out, that changed. That's what, we're not, yeah, thank you. Yep, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, we're still recording. We gotta be careful. Yep.
Well, I need Mike anyway. He needs to work on my email still.
Are you doing this now, full time, or just filling in the day? Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
It's still it's still live. They couldn't get it shut off, so just giving you a heads up.
I was gonna say something about.
And I'd like to just repeat that we are now at work session, and our wonderful Director of Solid Waste, Mr. Mike Aberle, is here to discuss 2 items. Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. The first item we would like to visit about is our score report, which is basically a report that we submit to the MPC annually on our recycling. As it's been mentioned multiple times over the last couple of years, Todd County and all counties are required to meet the 35% recycling rate countywide by the year 2030. So this chart that I have in front of you is just kind of gives you a history of the last 10 years where we were at on recycling rates, and what's really changed. The bottom graph is the highlights in yellow is our current inventories of what we put out on each product. If you look back in 2015, of course, our recycling rates were really high. All that was due to Banta Corporation because of the waste paper. That's where our recycling was coming from. Once they closed, you can see that was a significant dip in what we were processing and recycling at that time. So it's been a little bit of a struggle to get our numbers back up to where we needed to be. Back in 2022, when I took over, we started really digging into research and looking at how our operations were functioning, and also really did an outreach to lots of conversations and meetings with a lot of vendors in Todd County businesses that assist us in countywide recycling. And we really started getting information in front of them and requesting that they help us with the score reporting. Some of the businesses weren't reporting it. So that was where we significantly got increases as we got participation from multiple businesses throughout Todd County. So these numbers from 23, when we started implementing, really started to take off. Of course, the two really large ones was Impact Technologies for their electronic recycling. If you see that highlighted in yellow on the bottom graph, it'll say the other type of recycling, which is the appliance and electronics and such. Prior to 2024, we were processing about 623 tons of product. In 2024, we set up Sourcewell and got information out in front of Impact Technologies and started getting their recycling rates. And as you can see, we went up to 2,610 tons. So them rates are allowable to use for our score report, and why that is valuable for us as Todd County Solid Waste and our taxpayers is we get revenue streams back from that score report annually that we supply to the state of Minnesota. And the also big jump in 2025 was working with Jenkins Iron, Ken's Iron, and Highway 27 Salvage, which are large volume metal recycling. And that's where you can see that jump from 572 tons to almost 3,000 tons of product that we now can record through the state. So it gets us to that 35% in 2025 that we just submitted back in April. So that's good news for us. One thing that we conversed with the committee level was the fact that, these remote recycle sites that we got that Greater Minnesota Recycling Grant, we are in the process of finishing our last one, and which looks like it'll be in Eagle Bend, Minnesota. The big thing for us is why this is important. Commissioner Newman, when we were at our committee level, asked us, well, why are these rates so important to us? Well, in order to get this, if we don't use our businesses that are within Todd County, we have to do these programs or try to build remote bin sites. But as far as a taxpayer and a cost, it costs us about $86,000 per site to operate. Where if we can get these numbers up here, we don't have to add any more remote bin sites and just continue to rely on businesses to help us assist in recycling. It's a big cost savings for us as a taxpayer as well, because those sites you have to continually maintain and we have to service and go empty them and all them type of things. So that's why that number is really important to us to get that up. So like I said, that's really good information on how much we've aggressively attacked this and using Todd County businesses, where prior to this, Commissioner Deming and Commissioner Newman both knew this, that we were using a lot of out-of-county recyclers prior to this. When I came aboard, we were using Crow Wing County recycling a lot, which none of that revenue stayed within Todd County, where now that money is all staying within our county. So
having these numbers this way would allow us not to build future mobile sites that are cost $86,000 per site to.
That is correct. So you're looking at about $250,000 of revenue savings there by not having to do an outreach through that satellite type system. Huh. Any other questions regarding the recycle rates?
That's great. That's real money.
Yeah, and the other big part of that also was, you know, really going through and logistically going through our facility that was the old building, now that we're fully operational, you know, and doing those adjustments. And the new facility is really going to help because as you drive through there, we're single sorting with the residents. So our contamination rates will continue to go down, and that adds a lot of revenue. So it's also, we were at 16 to 18% contamination rates, and now we're down around 6. So where that means is that extra 10%, we were taking it as recycling at no cost that was coming to that facility, but yet that was contamination. So we were paying $149 a ton to ship it back out to an incinerator in Morrison County. So that extra 10%, we've actually gained that revenue because we've cleaned up a recycling stream. So there's another hidden cost of somewhere around $83,000 is what I calculate just in contamination on recycling alone. So,
You know, all those sheets in the office there that are, to look, are there any fact sheets on these, like what these numbers you're just telling us about?
not so much. There's some on the recycling. It kind of tells you where our recycling goes and what it gets used for. But we don't really get too deep into this, you know, within the residents.
People always, I have people ask me, what are you doing? You know, property taxes just came out and they ask, well, what are you doing? Well, this is something that's kind of not in the forefront that helps with everybody's taxes,
Right.
you know, and their future taxes. So it's almost like I wish I had this little laminated card on my wall and I could pull out and go, $250,000 here, we just saved 83,000 here, we saved blah, blah, blah. Because I don't think most of the general public would really have any idea. So.
Yeah, and I think the one thing is with the new facility, people are so much more intrigued, and obviously it was, you know, something that you guys directed towards me when I started was public education. It's really paid off. I mean, the stuff that we've been advertising now with the reuse store, the product is just flying out of there. We got people, you know, and to have a facility where you can walk up, go into the store and shop is huge, and it's amazing. You know, last year we did 6,000 pounds that we went through that reuse store that we were paying to get rid of last year, where now we're saving that revenue. So there's little tidbits all over the place that, you know, you add it all together and it quickly becomes a couple $100,000 savings.
You know, that load I brought up yesterday, that was tires, it was demo, it was recliners, steel, and what's the gentleman's name that was working with me?
I think it was Paul or, yeah.
Paul. He's like, you know, go here. You can, I could just see the efficiency starting to show up, you know?
Yep.
And then the less the contamination rate because we got everything separated.
You bet.
And then behind me was Dan Lawmeyer. I don't know if you knew that. Dennis was moving.
Okay.
And he had a bunch of stuff they brought up, said, I don't want to throw it away, so they're going to put it in the reuse store. So
They're
and that's a
actually,
guy from Benson, Minnesota.
right, yeah. And it actually left yesterday. Somebody took the lamp and the night table.
Gone?
Yep.
No, there you go. What a success. Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay, the second item is a recap of our CAP grant project budget. The first item that you see, if you can scroll, is it kind of gives us a summary where we're at as of 3/31/2026. This is all information that Jolene and I kind of put together through our IFS report. If you look on the top part of it as we work through this, the actual cost in IFS was the $7,839,000 and change. We had change orders, which was basically the improvements that we made along the way, liner steel, some of the differentials that we changed in the process of the construction. And then we had a retainage, which is left as of 3/31/2026, was $201,918 in retainage. So the general contracting cost was the $7.8 million. We had total engineering equipment and supply costs, which was $1.75 million. And a total budget project subtotal was $9,639,015 and change. And then you add the contingency in, we were at $10,216,212.57. The next item is our 2024 Todd County project budget, which was approved by the county board, was $10,197,156.43. So we had a overall, went over budget a little bit by $19,056.14. And as of 3/31/26, our solid waste budget account balance is $2,670,863.58. So things are looking pretty good on, as far as an overall. We have about $101,000 in cap grant money yet, and about $40,000 in engineering through Stantec yet. That will be probably just, I don't anticipate using them funds. So that's a really good sign for us. I think the project went outstanding, considering the project changes. A couple little notes on this, back in 2024, when we purchased the XL baler for the recycling facility, we wanted to make sure that we used up all the grant money that was available. So you look at that $10.2 million that we spent, that included the $257,000 baler that had nothing to do with the facility. So that was a big plus for us to be able to use all those cap grant funds without leaving anything on the table and sending back. So that was a big plus. And also, when you remember when we looked at our equipment as we grew the project, we ended up buying another semi and another trailer, which was another $300,000. That was additional cost. So overall, the prices from the build was cheaper than what the actual first engineering cost was. So we were fortunate to build at the time we did. Some things came in at a better pricing. So along with that budget, it looks really good. We're just on the nickel and dime stuff now. We're waiting for final plans for all the electrical and all the buried cable that was put and moved. So that's the last thing we're waiting for, so then we can sign off on the project closer. So.
Okay, any questions for Director Haverly? No? Well, that's
It's
great.
a long time to get started, though.
Yeah,
To get
yeah.
done, Yeah.
Right.
You got to get up there.
Yep.
Or just let me call me. I'll take you up there someday.
Yep. And one thing Commissioner Newman asked me to just touch briefly on, when you talk about the budget, when we finalized with Mr. Denny and Mr. Newman at our solid waste committee level meeting in January, we reviewed our 2025 budget. We had an overall budget of $304,000 in the black. So we had a really good year, considering that we just went through an 18-month budget build. And the other thing that we discussed in length with Commissioner Denny and Commissioner Newman was the overall procedural change of our recycle facility. And going back to what Mr. Byers just said, how efficiencies matter. So we sold some assets of about $121,000. So part of that $304,000 overage was part of that asset sales. The other $204,000, roughly, ballpark and change, was our operational changes by using Todd County businesses to enhance our recycling program. So when we were processing materials through Crow Wing County, and St. Rose was doing our tire recycling, they were managing all that. We changed everything around. We kept all the money in Todd County. So we used these metal recyclers to help us increase our profit. So when we were shipping our product out to Crow Wing County and these different vendors, we were making on, let's for example, say aluminum, we were getting paid about 33 cents a pound to 47 cents a pound. We switched and we went to Highway 27. We started just test marketing this. I started digging into them. So we directly shipped to Highway 27 and we doubled our profit on aluminum. And then we went from 47 to 83 cents a pound on aluminum. And then we started using Jenkins Iron, Ken's Iron, local Todd County businesses that pay taxes here. And we started getting price per ton for our scrap steel. We were using Crow Wing County, and we were getting about $40 to $62 a ton at Crow Wing County and paid shipping. Now we deliver to Jenkins Iron and Highway 27 and Ken's Iron, and we went from $60 a ton roughly to we're now, the last load we shipped out, we're getting $140 a ton. So we made a revenue of about $204,000 last year by changing the way we were operating our procedures in our recycle facility. So that was a really good number, because it was the first chance for me to really, once we had a full start to finish date, that was a really good sign that we're headed in the right direction. So appreciate your guys' input on that. So that's kind of where we're at.
Mr. Chair, if I may, absolutely positive facility, but I have had a couple people stop and ask me.
Yep.
They were wondering when they bring their garbage, they have to get out and sort it because they were uncomfortable with that? Or is there an individual that will do it for them? Because they said when they used to bring it, they could just dump it and leave. So can you update on that, just for the individuals that were asking the question?
Yeah, and we try to have an attendant there at all times so we can help the customer, go through the black bins and sort them. And we really try to be informative at that point because we want them to understand the value of, we spend about $230,000 in labor sorting recycling, right? So if they can sort it and help us do that point, at that point, it's a huge return on the backside of it. We actually are running that MRF, we call a MRF, which is our material recovery facility, with that one new employee with that baler. So we went from 2.5 staffs in our recycle to 1 plus our step. So we saved a full-time employee's position by adding that baler. But also, and that's part of that contamination rate. If we can reduce that at the point of contact with the customer, it really helps us. And I know some of them aren't, they're not real happy about having to sort because they're used to just going to them big green bins outside, but they were really contaminated, and that was our biggest issue. And the other thing was, and you know the facility really well, we really wanted to enhance the safety of it. We had a lady, my first winter there, that had fell down and actually cut her head open using the green bins in the wintertime. So that, that was a huge thing for us, but, we really try to spend time with them and communicate why we're doing this, so they understand the value of how important that really is.
Paul did a great job yesterday because
Yeah.
I think it's about the third or fourth time I was up there, and I was like, okay, I think I got it down. I got to go here, here, here. And, he did good. Make sure.
Yeah.
Next time I see him, I'll tell him.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest feedback we get, and also just knowing that we're there to assist them and helping understand why we do it, but also to assist them unload. We have a lot of clients that come in that can't handle a heavy TV or that kind of thing, so we really want to make it user-friendly and know that it's okay to ask. That was one thing I noticed when I first took over, was nobody would communicate. Well, they were kind of afraid to ask even, and just like, hey, that's what we're here for, so.
Yes, thank you. And I know it was an elderly lady that was like, same situation where she's like, well, first of all, I don't even know where to dump. And then second of all, some of the stuff she couldn't lift, and maybe a son or a husband loaded it, and she ended up bringing it.
Right,
So
right.
Thank you for
You
that
bet,
clarification.
absolutely.
So, Mr. Chair, one question, Mike. Saturday hours, when are you open?
We are open every Saturday now, first of April, we've been open. Yep,
Great.
yep.
And what's the time?
8 to noon.
8 to noon, okay, great.
Okay, everybody, we good? All right, let's call it a day. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
everyone.
Very informative.